As we're getting into sports, BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything football. From the preseason NFL to college kicking off, BetOnline has every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. You think you know your stuff? Get into the winner-take-all $300,000 NFL Survivor pool for the upcoming season. When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get a game of blackjack or poker run by with one of our over 150 slot games they have. Head to the website today and use promo code BLEAV, that's BLEAV, and get in on the action. Bet online. The game starts here. Code BLEAV, capital BLEAV. So what do we got here? Next is from Protect La Luna, and the subject is Swerve's deal. I know this is a bad look to hate on somebody for legally making as much money as he can, but I got to ask you guys about Swerve Strickland's new 5-year AEW contract. According to the dirt sheets, it's one of the biggest in AEW history. Good for him. Get the bag when it's there to be got, but really, what has he done to earn that level of money? Konnan, tell me about the giant TV ratings that Swerve drew during his AEW title run. Disco, tell me all the other giant sold-out shows that happened during Swerve's run. Joe, play some of the mainstream media appearances that Swerve made to bring in new fans to AEW. K100 boys, what do you think about Tony Khan signing to a 5-year deal for crazy money? And also, what do you think about Dave Meltzer's comment that, quote, WWE think the Swerve's new deal is bad for the industry? All the quotes, etc., are in that link provided above. You got the link, Joe? Because this was an interesting story. And we get up. This is the thing that triggered the thing with the Jim Valley guy that I had on Twitter. The deal and the offer to Danny Garcia were told, this is by Dave, okay? Were told to us by someone on the WWE side for Garcia and more than one on Strickland as being bad for the sport because they are so far over what WWE perceived the market value for both to be, with the idea that he's spending more than he needs to in raising salaries. The reality is WWE can afford anything, even if the new TV deal is high. AEW still suspend with some caution, or the idea that they'll be so profitable that we'll erase the first 6 years of losses won't be the case if they get out of control and spending. Okay. All right, so I want to hear your comments on this first before I comment. Well, what do you think about that?
Well, I think what WWE did was when AEW started, they started overpaying people to stay, right?
Mm-hmm.
And remember?
Yeah.
And I think they figured out we don't got to be paying these people all this money when we've got NXT and, and we can get wrestlers from there and groom them. And so they started to let him go. Now, Tony doesn't like, bro, he literally gets mad when certain wrestlers leave. Okay. Right. And so what they're doing now is they're making him overpay all these wrestlers so he can keep them. But yeah, it's true. I mean, what has Swerve really done to garner any extra attention or draw any extra fans? But if he wants to keep them, because from what I understand, they talked to Swerve and they talked to Daniel Garcia. And that was enough for him to go, hey, this is my guys. I'm going to overpay them. Why Swerve would stay there unless he's thinking, let me get paid for the next 5 years and be a very rich man. And in 5 years, if they don't bury me, which they probably won't, I'll still be viable and I could go over there. I would have gone there right now because they probably would have made him a big star. They wanted to take Prince Nana with him, which, not hating, I'm just stating, I don't know what he adds to Swerve, except, he's like Flavor Flav.
Whose house?
Right.
He
dances around. I guess nobody else could do that except Prince Nana.
But he thought of it himself, and he's over. So I got to give him credit on that.
He thought of going whose house? Wow, that's got to be one of the greatest ideas I've ever heard in wrestling history. Why don't you make him the booker?
I can't knock him, bro. You and I should know if you could do things to get a pop. It's like more credit to you. Without having to work.
Of course, but that's not a reason to bring somebody with you. I mean.
All right. So here's my take.
I'd want Swerve.
Here's my take. So Swerve is an interesting character because, bro, before, when his value was kind of in the mud, or at least Tony Khan perceived his value in the mud, because, bro, remember that they kept beating the guy. And I was saying, why do they keep beating this guy? He's very talented. He's got a great skill set. He's charismatic in between the moves that he works. He kind of, he's got the WWE training in him. So he's not doing a lot of crazy stuff out there. No, I like his work, and I like his persona and his gimmick, right? And they eventually had to start pushing him because he was getting over.
Not
And
just
then all of a
that,
sudden,
bro.
yeah,
You cannot forget this. A lot of people were complaining, and they were right, that every time they showed like AEW, media pictures and stuff, and there was like Darby Allin, Cody Rhodes, the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, no black guys there.
right,
Okay. And when I spoke to that guy, Will Washington, and I asked him, "What are you doing here?" He said, "I'm here to write for African American talent."
right,
So he had to push an African American.
right,
And when you look around, there's Private Party. They're not stars. There's Scorpio, who could be one, but Swerve was the one that really kind of stood out, and maybe Hobbs, right?
right.
But other than that, they really didn't have a lot of black talent. He had to pick somebody because people were getting in about it. Because it's true, it didn't look good. They even had Nyla Rose there, but they didn't have one African American. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of it could also be, you know what I'm saying, trying to
Right.
keep the fans happy. But go ahead.
Okay, well, still,
And not that he didn't deserve it, because he
no,
could
say
talk and he could
it's
go.
yeah. But you had two
Like
situations.
if you put a list of the top 10 black guys in that company, he'd be on top.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, and he started cooking people on the mic, and he got over and started, you know. I mean, I wasn't fans of the drinking the blood, stuff. He did something that I didn't like, but it's like I've always been entertained by this guy's character, his performance, everything he's done, right?
Right.
But and I'm not, that's so I'm saying 100% credit to him for the work that he did on his own, working against the grain
For
to
sure.
get the bag. Okay,
For
so
sure.
right. Okay, so I love guys that do that. That are you kind of like he didn't really. You know what he did? He
He got
epitomized.
himself over.
Well, I want to give you the term. If this is an WWE, he kind of grabbed the brass ring
Right.
and got his he grabbed the brass ring and it's like so now he's getting paid, right? But the funny thing about it is like he's getting paid. You can't knock the WWE if this statement was true. If this was said to Dave, it's like, dude, like okay, he credit to him getting paid. Still way too much money. We're
Right.
not going to pay that,
Right.
right? It's above the and fans are mad that the WWE is saying stuff like that when they're making all this money. But you run a business too.
Just because you
And
make money doesn't mean you have to throw it away.
exactly. And that's one of the reasons they're making a lot of money. And it's
Right.
like I
Because
said,
they're smart with their money.
I have not heard a lot of people complain about the money they're making the WWE. I haven't heard anybody complain. Okay, so they're
How
making
could
bank.
now I have nothing against her because she's always been cool with me and she gets extra points for being an Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio fan. How could she be getting paid more than just about anybody on that roster except maybe MJF?
Right. So, and this is my take ultimately. As a WWE, by making that statement, you're saying, look, we're making money. We cannot let a guy come in here that's consistently losing money year over year. They haven't made a dime and overpay the wrestlers and try to set market value. We're not going to play that game is what they're basically saying. If you're getting their salaries beyond the point to we would pay for the talent to leave your company, come to ours when we've got 100 people in our farm system.
Now, wait a minute,
You know,
because Joe showed me something yesterday, and I think he showed it to you too, where they did make money last year, right? Or was it just one show you were showing me, Joe?
Oh, that was that whole how much money did they spend in Vegas? And it turned out, their budget was like $3 million. And it kind of was figured that, yeah, they made a profit, but it was like $100,000,
Okay.
no, but let's be honest. You see how
that's
much
not
money,
much of a profit.
bro. You look at their. I would if somebody would have to show me, any data that they are making money. There's no way they're making
Bro,
money. Okay?
here's the worst thing. When people on Sports Center or, well, obviously Sports Center is tied into, UFC and all that, but any show you talk about, any talk show, commercials, you don't see AEW guys on there. You see
Right.
WWE guys. When they talk about wrestling, it's always WWE.
Right. They did today. Bro, get a load of this. I tweeted this. I'm randomly watching the NFL Network. Okay. They're interviewing George Kittle and they're talking about the 49ers. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they say, okay, who's the biggest baby face on the team? And he's talking about Brock Purdy. Who cuts the best promos? He says Christian McCaffrey. Well, who would be your tag? Brother, that's like 5 minutes worth of wrestling questions.
Right.
Like,
because wrestling's
like,
kind of cool again, and
yeah, right.
WWE made it cool.
Exactly. So that's not from like, so, but yeah, that was pretty funny. Like, he was on there. So, but yeah,
I was watching this commercial the other day, and it was like, yeah, when you're on the go, and they like showed like this college student that was running, and then they showed this other person that had a WWE belt on. Again, WWE. When you think wrestling, first thing you think about is them. Bro, there's so many people that don't even know what AEW is.
Right. Here's a perfect summation. Okay, is that say there's 3 of us here, right? And Joe is the talent. Okay, me and Konnan are the promoters. All right, and Konnan, I'm offering Joe $1 million. Okay, and you're paying him $2 million. Okay, instead of getting mad at me for not being willing to pay the $2 million. Just be happy that Konnan was willing to pay the $2 million. I'm not going to pay the $2 million, but I'm still happy for Joe getting $2 million. That's the gist of it. It's like, you can't don't knock the WWE for he got paid. They just weren't going to pay it.
Right.
So like, what's the big deal, right?
Similar to where we've talked about this a lot, where Tony has said, "I'm not going to make the same mistakes Eric made."
He's made a million mistakes.
He made new mistakes.
A million.
Yeah. One of the main things in the mid '90s was Vince kind of went, "All right, Nash, you can get whatever, 750,000 from WCW, then go. I'm going to bring in guys for 300 like Steve Austin and Mick Foley and build them up instead of overpaying you and his."
But what happened, Joe? You're missing the point there, though. Is Eric actually took that concept and actually beat Vince?
Well, yeah, that's
Tony's never done that.
No, he's never. That's the thing. So like Eric.
At least Eric's paid off, because for a year and a half
with those
we were beating.
There's like here's what Vince McMahon said. Okay, Diesel and Razor, they're kind of damaged goods right now. They're not making the money. You guys can have them. Randy Savage, we don't really see anything more for him in the ring. You guys can have him.
They thought he was old. They thought Hogan was old.
Then Eric took all these commodities and coming with a great angle and then started.
At least you got to give Eric credit with what he got. He beat him. Tony's never beat him.
Right.
And he never will.
Tony's tried to repeat the successes that Eric had by bringing in a bunch of WWE guys and paying him a bunch of money, but he's not even coming close to winning. So
now, the other day I read this thing. This is very funny. A guy that always, from everything I hear from people that would know, he doesn't like to take advice. He likes to do what he wants to do. Yeah, some people give him ideas and he may use them, but basically he likes it to come from him, right? Now, the other day, he was like, "Oh, this is a big team. We have 27 guys on the committee."
Yeah, is that what he said?
Yeah.
I was listening to a clip. Cornette was playing that clip from the scrum. Like, there's no way there's 20.
No. But I think he's gotten the reputation of not listening to anybody, right? So now he wants to say, "Hey, I am listening." And maybe he is listening to some people because the show has changed a little bit. But he's still making a lot of mistakes. So whoever's talking to him, and he's got smart people around him, he definitely ain't listening to 100%, because there's still a lot of holes in the booking, the production, everything. Guys that shouldn't even be on TV, they should be in Ring of Honor getting reps, and girls. Yo, what's up? I just want to thank you guys for watching this clip. Don't forget to hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And join our YouTube membership for hours and hours of exclusive, unedited, uncensored content. And being a member will help you get involved in our upcoming live streams. Thank you for your support. Thank you for riding with us. I know you got a lot of other podcast choices, be it wrestling or other ones. And thank you for picking us. Boom.